Britton Covey. That's the guy. Britton Covey. I mean,
everybody's
everybody's enamored with him and his ability to.
That's me.
Where's my TV? I'm trying to turn my TV down, man. You know.
You got the dogs not running around their desk arguing with you over treats again?
No.
See, I told you guys before. There's something about this guy, Britton Covey, and I keep hearing Covey, and I keep hearing things about him. And you know, he's a little wispy guy, 5'8", about 70 wet.
Right.
But as I said earlier in the week, you know, people have already said, you know, he's got this game about him like a Cole Beasley, like a Julian Edelman. A little guy who can wiggle in a slot. He's not the fastest guy in the world. Straight ahead speed, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's got great hands. From what I'm told, he catches everything that comes in his zip code.
All right, we are back. Yes, little costume change for the folks out there.
He's normal. Now he's normal.
Traditional hat, and I fixed the Eagles flag. Everybody was concerned. We got it going. It's flying, you know, all set. We're good to go. We're good to go here in Wildwood. Yes. Man. So a couple things. We didn't really get a chance to dive into this too much a little bit earlier, Barrett. So it's great you just sat down. But this is why I always like our group texts in the morning, or when we have our meetings at 11 o'clock, because we kick around some ideas. And you brought up a great one, I thought, today. The training camp darling, right? There's always that guy that just ascends either in camp, and then in a couple, when we used to actually have preseason games, you know, where people played. We had Paul Turner thrown out there, right? He was.
That's right, guys. Paul Turner. Yeah, you're right.
He was. When I was a kid, there was a guy, Billy Hess from Westchester, who, like, every year, Billy Hess tore it up in camp and then in preseason games. And there's always that guy, right? So I guess my question is, Barrett, you were down there. You had the opportunity to kind of check it out. Who's that guy? Who's that guy who you think might be the one that we're talking about here? Is it Britton Covey? Is it
Britton Covey? That's the guy. Britton Covey. I mean,
everybody's
enamored with him and his ability to.
That's me.
Where's my TV? I'm trying to turn my TV down, man. You know.
You got the dogs not running around their desk arguing with you over treats again?
No.
See, I told you guys before. There's something about this guy, Britton Covey, and I keep hearing Covey, and I keep hearing things about him. And you know, he's a little wispy guy, 5'8", about 70 wet.
Right.
But as I said earlier in the week, you know, people have already said, you know, he's got this game about him like a Cole Beasley, like a Julian Edelman, a little guy who can wiggle in a slot. He's not the fastest guy in the world. Straight ahead speed, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's got great hands. From what I'm told, he catches everything that comes in his zip code. And also, here's the thing. We were talking about this yesterday or 2 days ago. Who's the kick returner on this team? Supposedly, he's an accomplished kick returner, a punt returner. So he might be your solution. You never know. Don't count him out just yet.
What do you think about that, Barrett?
We lost Barrett again. We lost. There he is.
Okay.
That turned the TV off, man.
Oh. So Johnner just, you know, basically laid out the case for Britton Covey. Yeah. And I know, you know, we talked about this, geez, man, after the draft. I saw him play a couple. I love the late night Utah games, and I remember him in the Rose Bowl too.
Big West, you know, yeah.
He's a nasty kick returner, that's for sure. But he is a tiny dude, man. So can he hold up? I guess would be my question.
Like I said, he's a camp darling. I don't think it'll equate to playing on Sunday. That's the thing. I mean, I understand they're small guys, but first of all, he plays the wrong position. This is the deep I've seen at those wide receiver position be in a long time.
Yeah, right. That's going to be tough.
And it's going to be tougher. And they don't keep guys like they used to keep as far as guys that play special teams, special team return type of guys. They don't do it anymore. You know, you can't hold a roster spot just because you play special teams now. You have guys like Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley might not even make the squad this year.
Yeah.
And he was a special teams guru.
That'd be a shame. He is too good on special teams to not make the
squad. He is. But I mean, there's not enough linebacker spots. You know, they brought in guys to play. When have we been to a point where there's been more linebackers than they can do it? You know what I'm saying? More linebackers that can play than they can really handle right now. And that's exactly what's going on. I just can't see him making the squad over TJ, Kazir, Davion, Jacoby, even Patrick Johnson, I think will make the squad and over him. So, Patrick Johnson was, last year's 7th round draft choice. I don't think he makes the squad over him. And, look at the other Johnson they just drafted from Kyron Johnson from Kansas.
Yeah.
There's just so many linebackers, and they specialize now because now they have rush-in linebackers that are, guys just going to, play like Jannard Avery. Jannard Avery really didn't do himself justice. He could have really been an asset for that defense last year, but he didn't know how to step into that position. And that's why he's gone. Hassan Reddick is going to step into that position. Kyron Johnson, Patrick Johnson are going to step in that position of that hybrid rush Sam linebacker type of guy. Like I said, in the receiver position. There's just too many guys there. You got Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal. And right now it's a battle for that 5th spot, that 6th spot. You got John Hightower sitting there. You got Greg Ward. I mean, Devin Allen, is a Olympic sprinter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the fastest men in the world. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Like, literally.
So how is that going to give, Britton Covey a chance to make the squad? I just can't see it. Especially when they have returners that can go back there. Jason Huntley is going to be the kick returner. Kickoff returner. He's speed, man. They like that. As far as punt returns, I don't know, man. Now they can afford to put Devontae Smith back there for sure hands, which is kind of got to put Greg Ward in not a good position.
Barrett, I'm not messing with Devontae Smith returning anything, man.
I know, man.
I don't want him back there.
No, thank you.
I don't either. But who else can we put back there?
I know.
I mean, do you keep Jalen Reagor back there?
Nope.
Just because?
Nope.
Look, he's going to be on the rock. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want him. He's a worst case scenario if there's injuries if he's on the squad. But I don't want him as my primary at all. I mean, look. First of all, not only does he, I know he broke the one in Green Bay his rookie year, but he rarely ever breaks anything. And I don't trust his hands, man. We saw it in the playoff game last year.
Yes.
So I can't. No way is that the option.
So all right. So who returns for us then? That's where Britton Covey could make the squad. I mean, can Devin Allen return? That'll be away from he right now he's not a camp darling, but he is the darling of the teams of the guys that you hear in their front.
He's a fascinating name.
Yeah,
I mean, when you're talking about a guy with that kind of, but
2016, bro.
That's a long time, dude. 6 years and you haven't played competitive football. I'm sorry. That's what I can't get past. If it was 2 years, okay, maybe.
Right,
whatever.
right,
6 years.
Right. I think it's easier for what's his name that we had on yesterday?
Trey Burton.
Trey Burton. I think it's easier for Trey Burton to make the squad as opposed to him. And Trey, at this point, I don't think Trey even desires to really. He doesn't desire really to be out there.
He didn't seem to me like he wanted to play football anymore.
No.
Things can change, but it didn't. I think it struck me like he kind of did his thing and he's good.
Right.
So he got paid in Chicago. Good for him.
And when you can go fishing, you can go fish for a living now. You're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah. He may not have made the huge money we talk about in the NFL a day, but he made enough money to live comfortably the rest of his life.
And Trey's not a guy who was going to be spending crazy either. He's a smart dude.
Very smart dude, man. Yeah. And he can live a nice, conservative, good life. Did you see those pictures I sent you guys yesterday of him pitching?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, we talked about it, but you didn't send the picture. We talked about it with him.
What happened?
No.
I didn't send
I don't think you sent him.
No, you didn't send them to us. No.
You
talked about
he told us about the size of some of the stuff that he was reeling in. But no, you didn't give us any pictures.
No, all right, guys. So who else do you guys think? Camp Darling. To me, I think the Camp Darling guys are going to really look at is Marcus Epps. I think he steps in, and I think he becomes the best safety we have.
Wow.
On the squad.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's what I want to know.
See, I don't think he's just default. Like, I don't think he's just they've done everything else. They can only fix so many positions. You got to deal with them. I think he's better than that. I do. I do
too. I think he's better. I think he's better than Smith right now.
And I think he's better than Anthony Harris.
I mean, Harris right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. We may end up by the end of the year. Look, I don't know. I don't know where Kayvon Wallace is at this point, but it may be an Epps Wallace, safety spot in terms of the start.
Tandem, yes, they like, and I see the fact that Kayvon is starting to get comfortable back there.
Yeah.
He's seeing things now develop in front of him. He's reacting. He's not just sitting back there trying to guess what's going on. He's reading it and getting where he's supposed to be, getting to his spot and playing where he's supposed to be at. A lot of guys haven't matured to that, that spot yet. And he's starting to mature to that spot.
The other guy, I guess I would say Barrett, and it's, I don't know if this would count, but because he was a camp darling last year, and people were right about it. Tyree Jackson, if he comes back healthy,
he's not
going to be there in camp, but because he's coming off that pretty serious injury in December. But let's say he's ready to go this might be a stretch, for the first game of the season or week like 3 or 4. This dude is huge with great athleticism and great speed, and from what it looked like, pretty good hands.
Yes.
He's a guy, we're all worried about the backup tight end, what's after Goddard, that, Stoll is kind of just a guy and whatever. If Tyree Jackson's ready to go, he's that guy. He showed some enthusiasm when he was out there. I mean, he didn't have a catch, but still, it was still a threat, him being out there. You know what I mean? So I like him. And Calcaterra is another one. I'll throw that out there. Who's a tight end, the kid out of Oklahoma who took a year off in between. With he was from Oklahoma originally, then he went to SMU when he sat out the year. But he's got real skill, man. If you guys watched him at Oklahoma, I didn't see him as much last year at SMU, but he was a big time threat down the field. He's not a blocker, but he'll catch the ball, man. He's definitely
a pass catching tight end. He's more so the mode of Zach Ertz than a blocking tight end.
There's one here that really intrigues me. We haven't heard much about him in camp, and I don't know if we ever will. But just from physical size alone, and we talk about how secure the D tackle rotation already is. There's an undrafted kid on this roster named Noah Ellis, who's 6'4", 347 out of Idaho.
Oh.
Now, 347.
Oh my God.
Now, there's been some massive road graders who have made some pretty good livings in the National Football League playing D tackle, 340, 345, 350. Something about this kid. I'm curious to see if they would try to hide him on the practice squad eventually.
Yeah, you're right. He's the perfect nose. He's the guy's gonna be right there, head up over the center.
Yeah. There aren't many guys who are in the same size conversation.
Zip code
with Anthony or with Jordan Davis. That's the crazy thing.
Whew.
But it sounds like he's one of them.
Mark my words, and this guy's gonna get a lot of burn because we don't play our ones in camp, or ones or twos in camp.
You're right. But, that's a really interesting point, Barrett. Like, as much as it frustrates us media and fans that we don't get to see these guys in any kind of game setting till week 1, it does give these young kids a shot.
Yes, it does.
They're going to get extended time, right?
It'll give them an option. You'll see the guys like, Coyote Owosika, LaRaven Carr. You'll see those Tyree Jacksons. You'll see Carson Strong. You'll see the arm, how he can rip it. He's going to surprise you guys. Carson Strong has an arm, man.
What's your sense with that, Barrett? Is he the practice squad guy? Is that what your sense is?
Yes, I think they let Reed Senate go, and Carson Strong becomes that third quarterback for this team. He's young. He's that perfect size. He's like 6'5".
He's big.
220. You know what I mean?
He's a statue, though. He ain't moving much.
No functional mobility, but he's going to wing it. He can hose it, man. And that's what you want quarterbacks to do. He's 6'3". Mm-hmm. He's 6'3", 225.
He's put together. He's not slightly built.
No, he can hose it, man.
Yeah,
he can definitely hose it. So
it's a matter of those legs holding up, for sure too, because he's had some knee issues in his past. That's for sure. All right, so I the other question I want to pose at you guys. Look, we've talked a lot about Jalen Hurts and what this looks like, and how much the whole team revolves around him. There's no doubt. I guess my question is for you: how would you like to see Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen start the year off with him? Like, what would be the best course of action for you in the way that he's utilized to get him going, build confidence around the team, around him? How would you like to see them get him going? Because I think it's going to be different than what we saw last year with the way they started him. I mean, would there be less designed runs? Would it be more high percentage throws? Like, how would you go about trying to get him going? I guess
For me, I would use a similar game plan as to what they used last year against Detroit to test the waters initially. That's when the ground game really took off. It was against Detroit. And as I've said, I believe Detroit has a lot better talent than what they showed on the paper that particular game. And if you look at their record, the record would indicate, they battled tooth and nails. They just couldn't finish the job. But I would just say to get a flow going, get a rhythm going, move the chains with that ground game, sprinkle in a pass here or there. I wouldn't have them come out throwing, and getting a rhythm like that. I would try to offset the defense and get them thinking they're still going to run the ball first and loosen them up with the run, and then start having them dink and dunk his way down the field in a rhythm type offense.
How about you, Big?
You know what? I want him to run the same offense that Dallas ran when Dak first started playing.
Okay.
I want them to go out there,
people don't
play
know.
action, run play action, and people don't understand. You don't just run play action just because you can run the ball.
Right.
But you use play action as a solid protection.
Right.
When you have play action, you keep in extra tight end. You keep a tight end in, you keep a running back in to help with the blocking just in case somebody does come free.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can push the ball down the field and have your quarterback comfortable enough to go through his reads and progressions. That's what you do. So run play action, run a little boot protection, get them outside the pocket. Wild go protection is when they pull the backside guard, front side, and have them be like a wall in front of them so we can push the ball down the field. A lot of quick stuff, 3-step drops, get the ball out on time. A lot of timing routes just to get a rhythm of being an NFL caliber throwing quarterback. And that's how you work him in until he gets more comfortable and going through his reads and pushing the ball down the field, as opposed to just throwing them out there as, all right, we got 22 protection, and running, 7-step drops where guys, all those routes going down the field where you're making them go through your progression. Don't do that. Ease them into it. Give him an opportunity to read the defense from play action where he has blocking in front of him. Then you set him free once he gets comfortable with the timing and gets comfortable with the receivers that he has, get comfortable with, the offense that they're trying to, have him adjust to. That, to me, that's what you have to do. You got to give. You can't just throw him out there and say, all right, like they did before. Throw him out there. We're just gonna run RPOs and you read it like, no, teams will stop that. They know how to stop that. If you want him to be a drop back quarterback, do play action. As opposed to just throwing them out there and just, all right, we're just gonna go scat protection. Scat protection is your 5 offensive linemen blocking the world. If they bring 7, that means it's gonna be 2 free hitters. Because the 5 down offensive linemen have the 5 guys that are most MDM. We call them most dangerous man, MDM. Those 5 guys against the world. Everybody else is on pass routes, which is giving one quarterback read. He's got one hot guy and another guy that's going to be a free hitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's too hard to go and do that. That's what happened. That's what happened to Bobby Hoying in all actuality. That's what made Bobby Hoying the worst quarterback in the world, because they just threw him out there. Because before Bobby Hoying when Bobby Hoying had some success,
right,
Gruden would tell him, hey, I want you to throw this stick nod route on 322 wide stick nod. He'd throw the stick route and he'd be wide open to the tight end. He'd be wide open in practice. Getting the game, he's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
He would tell him where to throw the ball on certain plays because Gruden knew what they were going to run on these certain formations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't have a Gruden there, they just threw him out there. We had Dana Bible. He wasn't telling him where to throw the ball. So
Dana Bible,
he couldn't read the defense because he was used to just reading one side of the field.
Right.
And it put Bobby in a bad predicament. Put this whole offense. We led the league in sacks because he just kept holding the ball because he couldn't read the defense.
Yeah, that was bad. He was one of those burst on the scene. He was kind of like Travis Fulgham of quarterbacks. Like he had what was it, 4 or 5 unbelievable.
No, he had one unbelievable game against Cincinnati, and after that, it was average and status quo.
Yeah, and he actually hung around for a little while as a backup with the Raiders. Gruden took him there for a little while, but that was he was never the same with the Eagles. But I do look at what Hurts has here. When you think about a precision route runner who can also be a deep threat in Devontae Smith, an underneath guy who's a yards after catch with A.J. Brown, just those two. Quez Watkins with the possibility of a deep threat. Goddard with his ability to catch the ball and a running game. I mean, it's there for him. It's there for him if this is handled right.
Right.
And a lot of this, obviously, I know it comes down to him, but I truly believe that the coaching staff is going to do a good job of at least putting him in the position to succeed. And it's just going to fall on him after that.
No question about it. And I think he understands the magnitude of the situation. I think he's preparing himself like never before to rise to the challenge. And again, I can't emphasize this enough, but until I see him do it consistently, I have my reservations, because of just based on what we had to see this past season. Hopefully everything works out in his favor. Hopefully he has made that significant progression that will get a lot of this negative heat off his back. I got to see it, though. Got to see it.
I'm with you. And I think we're all in that show it to me phase, right? I mean, I think everybody, we've been over this a million times. No, there's no doubting hard work. There's no doubting want to. There's no doubting football IQ. All of that is
ability
a given.
Is all there.
It's a given. Yep. It's a given. We just need to see it on the field at this point. And it's weird to be in that spot if you're a professional football team, because I think the Eagles front office would never say this, but I'll say it. I mean, they've given him enough weapons on both sides. And what I mean by that is they're good enough defensively now to create some turnovers, to give him a short field, to do a much better job of creating just turnovers in general, to set up the offense to do well. And they've given him now A.J. Brown to go with everything else that they have, man. And that's all you can ask.
Yeah.
Look what A.J. Brown affords him to have. Everybody thinks he's just going to be this receiver that's going to blow by. What A.J. Brown gives him the ability to do is give him a forgiving zone to throw to. He's a more forgiving receiver. You can throw it at him, and he'll muscle DBs and get him. He'll block guys out. So you talk about catch rate. Catch rate is just always with tall receivers and with wide arms, but it's also catch radius as far as being able to muscle guys and just debo smaller DBs and just go get it, snatch the ball out the air. And that's what AJ does. He gives him that ability, man. So he can make him a better passer just from his ability to catch under duress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll catch those 50-50 balls that we were looking for Alshon to do last year. Just never, it never was given.
Alshon had to check out at that point.
Right. He was already, he was already out. But I mean, that's what he was for. Devontae Smith will be a better target for him because now you're going to have a one-on-one route with Devontae Smith, and he is the king of getting open with route, understanding how to run the route and recognizing what the defense is trying to do to stop the route that he's running and creating separation from the way he runs the route. That's what figures him to be one of the better number twos in the league. Pascal, another smart receiver that you want, is going to get down and dirty. He's going to be where he's supposed to be at. If he's supposed to run a 10-yard curl, he's going to run it at 10 yards, and then he's going to make the catch also and bully DBs. So he has the best wide receiver tandem as far as helping him be a better quarterback from the guys he's going to be throwing it to.
Yeah, and look, what's a quarterback's best friend is always his running game. And, the ability for this team to take some heat off of him if maybe he's not having his best game, or let's face it, if the opposing defense is really good against the pass or whatever. I mean, you have the ability to run the ball. But here's the thing, guys. Whether this is Detroit or any of the first, I'll say 4 teams they play this year, it's going to be, we're stopping the run, show us that you can throw. And it's going to be boxes stacked. That's what he's going to have to, there's no sneaking up on anybody anymore with the way the Eagles, ran.
That'll work in their favor though, Rob.
Yeah.
They're going to stack the box. They're going to put 7 and 8 man boxes to try to stop, because I'm telling you the truth. Defensive coordinators don't believe in Jalen Hurts' ability to throw the ball. So they're not going to be scared. They're not going to be scared to put, a heavy box in there. They're going to have 8 men in a box. All right, we're going to have 8 men in the blocks. We don't think that your quarterback can get it out to your receivers or your tight end.
Right.
So we're going to stack the odds in our favor and stop the run. We're going to think you're going to try to do what you did last year and stop the run. Man. So probably the first 3 or 4 games, he's going to have a field day and have an open receivers because they're going to stop the run. They don't care anything about the pass. Nope. So, it's going to work in their favor. It's going to definitely work into their favor.
And even if Jalen Hurts doesn't emerge as an upper echelon quarterback, history has shown in the NFL there were a lot of QBs in the game that were good managers of the game. You don't have to be a great quarterback. Oh my goodness, I'm glad you brought that up. John Kitna, Kyle Orton, Jake Delhomme, Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, Jeff Hostetler, Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon was known more for his colorful nature than he was as a quarterback of the Bears.
Phil Simms.
Phil Simms. But look at the talent surrounding those players, those type of players. See, and
look
the
at those
Eagles have
defensive
surrounded.
guys.
Look at those defense. Yes, yeah. So history has shown
great defenses.
If you can manage a game, you can have a good measure of success in the National Football League, and you can get X amount of accolades for being a good manager of the game instead of a great quarterback of the game. So the blueprint has been laid out for Jalen Hurts. If he's just a better athlete, a better decision maker, and let everybody do their jobs, he's going to get more accolades than he is darts thrown his way.
Right.
Hey, let me throw this out there. Justina Anderson, if you remember, formerly ESPN, she does get a lot of scoops. There's some craziness that goes with it, but there is. She says the Panthers are still doing their due diligence in terms of looking into Baker Mayfield. So I would have thought, guys, that Seattle would be a good fit for him, but it doesn't seem like Seattle has much interest in him. And Carolina is interesting in that they still have Darnold. They drafted the kid Matt Corral out of Mississippi. But it looks like they may still be trying to make something happen here with Baker.
I think that would be a smart move for them.
For what it's worth. I guess you end up trading. You trade Darnold there, and he'll be the backup to Watson, I would guess.
Yeah, I think that would be a good move for him. Getting him out of Cleveland is imperative.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever takes a snap for Cleveland, to be honest.
No.
I think Cleveland will go with a rookie off the streets until Deshaun Watson is clear before they put Baker Mayfield under center. Because you don't need that headache, you don't need that controversy. And Baker Mayfield is not one to just toe the company line. If he was a quarterback that would keep his mouth shut, they knew he wouldn't say anything, maybe. But because they know what he's capable of saying, if you give him the reins and all of a sudden take the horse away from him and give it to Deshaun Watson, that's a bad situation with the Baker Mayfield in your locker room.
Let me paint this scenario for a second with this. And I don't think this is going to happen. But let's say Mayfield's still there and the NFL gives Deshaun Watson 6 games, okay? Cleveland starts off 5-1, and he's dealing.
Yep.
Now, you're obviously going to Deshaun Watson with the kind of money you have guaranteed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you think Mayfield's going to go out quiet in that scenario? Like you're going to have an absolute zoo if that's the case.
He'd be worse than Minshew was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember what Minshew was like?
Oh, yeah. And that's why I said what I said. I don't think Baker Mayfield is the good soldier. I don't think he'll toe that company line. And considering what has happened to him in Cleveland, I don't know if I would either, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because this is not just business. This is personal. The manner in which they went out and got Deshaun Watson. Baker Mayfield didn't have a great season, but the season wasn't that bad a year ago. He got him to the playoffs. I mean, what else do you want from Baker Mayfield? They didn't win it, but
especially
you got him
when it's Cleveland, when you've had playoffs
exactly
few and far between.
Oh my goodness. So this is personal for him. So I don't blame him for not just towing the company line, especially if you said like Rob, he got off at 5-1 and you're just going to make a switch because you're paying this guy all this guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sets up to be a bad situation. That's for sure.
But Paul Massini has a point. Experienced Jacoby Brissett is the backup QB for the Browns. Baker Mayfield will be released by summer camp.
Well, they're trying to trade him. They're trying to get anything they can for him.
I realize that. I know that, and I think so also. But I mean, that's. I think that he won't be on the squad. I think he's going to be cut sooner than later. They're going to have to cut him.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're riding it as long as they can, and then they're going to have to eventually bite the bullet and just cut him and eat all the money.
Right. I mean, there's no way that I think he's on the squad come camp. There's no way. I saw the Eagles do it, and when I saw the Eagles cut $34 million, and just with nobody in, and that's it right there. Nobody's in the locker room. There's just a $34 million cap hit, and there's nobody there in the locker room to even be a bad temperament or anything. You know what I'm saying? I cannot believe they let that guy go. I mean, it ended up being worth. They got a first rounder out of the deal, but still first and a second rounder.
Right.
Still $34 million.
I know it's amazing. That's kind of where we're at now in the league. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so we come back, guys. We're going to ask the question. We're going to pose 2 questions. 1, are the Warriors a dynasty? 2, where does Steph Curry rank all time now? He's in every conversation now. We'll dig into that. We'll keep going with the football talk. We got a lot of other stuff in store for you. A little later in the show, since we have Father's Day coming up on Sunday, guys, we'll get into some memories of some sporting memories with your dad, and also best father-son duos in sports. We'll close it out with that. So get your thinking caps on for those. But we'll come back with a little hoops, and then we'll mix in some football as well. We're not done with the football talk at all. He's Barrett Brooks. He is Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, so I'm down the shore. We know you can get some crazy storms down here, right? Pro Action Restoration can take care of you in case something happens. Whether it's a home, a business that you own, a property, you get water, you get fire, you get smoke damage, you get mold damage. You're not really sure how to deal with it. That's what they do, man. And they're on call 24/7. I experienced water damage at my parents' house, and they were great. They got there quickly, cleaned it up, and it was a mess, and cleaned it up, and at a very reasonable price. The crew was professional, clean, you name it. They're licensed, bonded, and fully insured, and they've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company as well. Again, whether it's water, fire, smoke damage, mold remediation, you name it, they can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, or reach out to them at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.